Today is 812 Data. I'm here to lessons I learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams, your goals, allow you to become the person that you want to become. Yesterday we covered reality check for starting a business, about personal development. Today I want to focus on reality check regarding your business, specifically when you create an idea and you want to pursue that. What kind of reality check do you need to do before starting a business? Yesterday I pointed out a very, very important thing, that reality check is not your past check. Reality is not your past check. So that means a lot of times reality check is what do you have now and what you will have in the future. So it means when you do reality check, we need to understand that it's always about the present. It's always about the present. Because we need to understand that if we want to have that vision to go somewhere, we need to understand where we are in the moment. And from that point, we know exactly what kind of steps we need to take. So today we'll share 12 things that we need to cover regarding reality check, regarding the business, that we're able to really pursue that. So before I start, we need to understand that all the things that I mentioned, we do not need to really overdo it, because I really love that the training that is done on that. When you want to start a business, you need to have from 40 to 70% of information. If it's less than that, it might be that you're gambling. If you have more than that, a lot of times people have that analysis paralysis. So 40 to 70% of the research needs to be done before you really starting to execute on your idea and starting a business. So number one, of course, one of the easiest one, that reality check is on the market. So that means when you have an idea and want to start a business, that means that you need to really check if this really worth it. So market research is important to have that reality check in place, because sometimes we want that idea to work. We want to believe that. We ask our friends, family, this is a great idea. They say it's a great idea, but does the market say it's a great idea? So that means that we do not base our opinions and our ideas based on other people's opinions that are really on the market. That's a huge difference between a lot of times we ask a couple of people and they say think it's a great idea, but would they use it? So a lot of times they would not use it, even though that it's a great idea. So it's very, very important to understand market research as a reality check. Number two is unique value proposition. Unique value proposition. So that means that when you think about your idea, about your business, what is unique about you specifically? What is unique about your business specifically? Because a lot of times we just create exactly the same model that someone else has. And sometimes you think that, we have something unique, but when I look into and start doing this research, you find that, there's a lot of people who do exactly the same thing. I think that a lot of times before research, you think that we are very creative. And we are. But at the same time, sometimes we need to say, okay, what other people do as well? And if something that you have specifically unique, we're able to create something unique value proposition. Number three is business plan. Business plan. So that means that we need to have that reality check on, this is idea just this, but I'm planning to do it, or you really actually planning to do that? And that means that if you actually planning to do that, do you have a business plan in place? So what action plans, what is action steps that you will take to make sure that this happens? So that means that when you think about reality check, is part of the really building something, building the strategy, how that potentially could work. Because if you just think about the idea and you do not have steps to really implement it, it's very, very hard to think that it is as a really good business. Number four is legal considerations. Reality check on all the legal requirements. It could be licenses. It could be some kind of things that you need to meet to be able to really qualify to be in this market. So what kind of business you're running and what kind of legal requirements are in this place? Because a lot of business requires a lot of legal requirements. So you know your market. What kind of legal requirements your business requires? And being able to do that, because a lot of times if we start doing business and then we realize that there is a lot of expensive licenses we need to have, that could slow us down, and sometimes we could waste money, or that could theoretically we spend so much time and then we start executing, and when you realize that there's so many licenses need to be in place before really we start able to start generating revenue. Number five is financial viability. So that means that when you think of finances, it could be that it's amazing idea. It could make a lot of impact on other people, but when you look into finances, you understand that it's not viable. That means that it might be that you will not be able to make money whatsoever. I have seen the few startups and look into the numbers, and I'm looking to how to make it work, and it just doesn't work financially. The expenses that will be massive to really create that product, and if to make it work, it's will be massive hard. So that means some business really just financially do not work. And we need to understand that where are the profitability, where are how much we need to invest, how much it will cost, and everything in between to make sure that we understand that this will be a viable solution to start a business and make money. At the same time, the business is for making money, not for any for the passion and just passion. Of course, some nonprofits are not just for profit, but that's a different conversation. Number 6 is risk analysis. So that means you need to have analysis on and reality check on the risks. So what kind of risks when I start a business? What could happen? So be proactive, understanding, okay, all the things that potentially could go wrong, that go well. Now, of course, you will not be ready for everything. Something will come up and you will never be able to prepare for all 100% of risks, but being able to proactive and then understand, okay, what could go wrong? And you'll be prepared because you're able to potentially cover about 80% of all potential risks and knowing what you will be able to do. So when that happens, what you will do, that of course could save a lot of energy and stress because you understood what could go wrong. Number 7 is skills and resources. So being able to do that reality check based on skills and resources that you have in place. So knowing that how much resources you will need to have, what kind of skills you will need to have. And then reality check on how much do you have now and what kind of skills do you have now. Because it's very, very important to understand what you will need and what you have now. Because now you know the gap. And because you know the gap, you now be able to work on that. Find the people that has the skill set. Because now when you go outside and you know exactly what you're looking for, and said that I'm looking for a person who could fix this gap, who could solve this problem, it's much, much easier to network because you know exactly what you're looking for, exactly the resources. So that means that when you have, like, let's say, I have $100,000 gap in my resources. So when you go and look for investors, you say that I'm looking for $100,000 because this $100,000 will be used in this specific reason. It's much easier to go and say, oh, I don't know how much money I need. I don't know what kind of resource I need. I just need something to start. No, because it's much more powerful to know exactly what you need and for what reason. That's his reality check. That helps with that. Number 8 is customer validation. Customer validation. This is huge because a lot of times people have a problem and they have a solution. But sometimes people do not care much about that problem and they are not willing to invest to solve that problem. So that means that the problem and pain is massive differences. People have a lot of problems, but people act on pain, not on the problem. I will repeat one more time. Like, there are people have a lot of problems, but people act on pain, not the problem. So that means when you have a problem that you want to solve, you need to ask yourself how big this problem is. Is this moving into the pain that really they want to take action, that they're willing to invest in to solve this problem? So that's a huge difference. So we need to understand that is this a pain or a problem? Because on the pain, people are willing to act and invest money onto. Number 9 is marketing strategy. So we need to have a reality check on, okay, what kind of plan and strategy do we have regarding marketing, on the branding? How people will know that what you have available? Because a lot of times people lose their business because they have amazing product in place, they have amazing service in place, but no one knows that they have amazing service. No one knows that they have amazing product in place. So being able to understand how you will put the word out is very, very important. Number 10 is scalability. Scalability. This is a big question as well. Because some businesses are amazing till $100,000 a year or $1 million a year. And after that, it's very, very hard to scale. Maybe you are reached maximum for that location, maybe able to create another location, but you at least reached that maximum in that location. So we need to understand, okay, what is the maximum that we're able to go after in this location? This is a massive. So that reality check is how much do you want and how much is possible in this location or in this business whatsoever. And that means, are you okay with this maximum and ceiling of this business? It might be that you said, I want bigger, I want more. So maybe you are able to change direction and move to start a different kind of business. Or maybe you want to have that multiple location business, and that's exactly what you're seeking. So knowing that is very, very important. Number 11 is technology and infrastructure. So what kind of technology do you need in place? What kind of infrastructure do you need to build in place? There's a lot of different business that needs technology, needs infrastructure, technology, infrastructure, or anything in between. So knowing what you need regarding your business is very, very important to have the reality check, because if you start a business, but you realize that there's so much infrastructure things that you need to manage, and this could slow you down. So being able to really do reality check what you need and what you have covered is very, very important, where you need to, and where you want to go. And the last one that I have is time commitment. And this is massive, time commitment. A lot of times what I see that business owners start a business and it's like, okay, I'm looking that I will be able to allocate like 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week or 30 hours a week. And I think that's how much you will take. But I found that majority of the time, 90% of the time, business requires more time than you expected. So that means if you think that, okay, like business requires 30 hours and this 30 hours that I have, that means you always need to predict that you will spend at least 35 hours. You always add 5 hours extra to be able to perform, because if you are very retired at the time and you think that, okay, yeah, for business I will need 30 hours, but I have only 25. So that means most likely you will always be behind. So being able to have that time commitment and being able to plan your time better, because if you have like 25 hours available time, that means you need to plan basically for 20 hours work. Because if you plan for 30 hours, most likely will feel always under-accomplished. Because it doesn't matter how much your time, it doesn't matter how well you commit to that time. Because this very big interesting thing is that sometimes people have 20 hours and some people have 50 hours. And 20 hours people are performing and outperforming 50 hours. Because they're able to be very focused on their time. So that means they execute 100% with those 20 hours. So that means you not need to have 100% of your time in your business, but what you need to have is when you have time for the business, you allocate 100% of your energy in that time. So time commitment means that not just how much time, but how much of that time that you allocated, you give 100% of you in that business. And now, when you think about reality check, it's very important to understand how much time do you have now to allocate and how much energy and mind space do you have for that. Because it's very important to understand that mind space and energy is very, very important for time commitment. Because a lot of times, if you have like 50 hours, but your energy is elsewhere, your mind is elsewhere, you live in struggle, you live in survival, it's very hard to really execute on the highest level. So you need to understand where your mind is. Reality check is important for that. So today, I really wanted to really cover like the steps that you really need to do reality check. But again, I want you to really understand that even though that research is very, very important, we don't need to spend too much time on that, because we're able to do research on the go. So you do a little bit of research that you do not make mistakes. You start executing and you do research on the go. So I better make a mistake by executing too early than I'm executing too late. I will repeat it again. I better make a mistake by executing too early than too late. Because too early still will give you lessons. Too late will not give you the lessons from the mistakes that you did. Because you just overanalyzed. So when you're still thinking about starting a business, if you really don't know how to do the research yet, just execute. Start taking action, moving forward. And that will allow you to understand what you need to do research on. Because next time you will know exactly what you did mistakes on and what you need to do is research on. So if you do not know what you research, start executing and then you will know. And a lot of times, like when you start a first business sometimes could be not to really make it successful, but to build a skill set that you could build successful business. So I hope you choose to win and see you tomorrow.